We had some very positive response from the market, and investors were interested in funding us for an expanded drill program. So we closed that financing at the beginning of August. We then expanded our drill program from 66,000 meters to 90,000 meters, which again is the largest ever drill program on the project.
Well, hello, welcome to Assay TV. Today, I'm joined once again by Luke Alexander, who is the president and CEO of Newcore Gold. Luke, great to see you again. Last time we spoke, I think back in June, you were in the midst of a, I think, 66,000 meter drilling campaign at your project, the Enchi project in Ghana, West Africa. You just also released a PEA. We went through some of the robust economics that were coming out of that. Tell us, what have you been up to since we last spoke? I believe you've expanded that drilling campaign.
Yeah, hi Leo. Nice to see you again, and I like your new digs. They look nice. Yeah, so since we spoke in June, we've been very busy drilling on our project. We also completed an $11.5 million capital raise that closed at the beginning of August. That was on the back of obviously some very robust economics that we put out within our PEA. $212 million after-tax NPV at a $1,650 gold price. We'd also then followed that up with some very good drill results. So we actually had some of our highest grade intercept, well, actually our highest grade intercepts ever on the project, 95 grams over 2 meters with an additional 13 grams over 1 meter within that same drill hole. So on the back of that, we had some very positive response from the market, and investors were interested in funding us for an expanded drill program. So we closed that financing at the beginning of August. We then expanded our drill program from 66,000 meters to 90,000 meters, which again is the largest ever drill program on the project. To put that in context, all the historical RC and diamond drilling that's been completed is only about 56,000 meters. So a very large program. And since announcing that additional expanded drill program, we've put out another 3 or 4 press releases with additional drill results. So it's been a busy number of months, and it's been a busy year and a half since we got going with Newcore.
Absolutely. And just to refresh our viewers on the Enchi project, you've got a sort of a thinner oxide layer at the top and then sulphide. So where sulphide's underneath? So where is this recent drilling being focused on?
So we've always taken a kind of multi-pronged drill approach. So one of the things that we're very fortunate is we have quite thick oxide and transitional zones at our Enchi project. That lends itself to a heap leach project, which drove those robust economics within the PEA. All of our 4 deposits at our Enchi project remain open along strike as well as at depth. So we are continuing to focus on stepping out, drilling those oxides, drilling those transitional zones, because those are very profitable ounces. But we're also, for the first time ever, starting to drill below 150 meters. If you look at other projects and deposits along the Sefwi-Bibiani Belt, including Kinross's Toronto mine 50 kilometers to the north of us, where you'll start to see these deposits really grow in size and increase in grade as you start to get deeper. So we've now started to drill down to 250, 350 meters below surface, and we've started to see some very encouraging results as we get into those sulphides. The other thing we're focused on from a drilling perspective is some new areas, and we're drilling those for the first time ever. Sefwi-Bibiani South would be one of those. It's one of our largest anomalies, 2.5 by 3.5 kilometers in size. We completed a 3-kilometer trench program on that anomaly, and we just completed a 30 drill hole program on Sefwi-Bibiani South. As well as we're going back to areas like Arati. We're going to be drilling Naquanta, Tokasia for the first time ever. So we've got a real multi-pronged drill approach, and we think that's how we'll create the most value for our shareholders.
How many drill rigs do you have on site across your different projects?
At the moment, we've got 2 drill rigs turning, 1 RC rig and 1 diamond rig. So the diamond rig focuses on drilling those deeper holes, and the RC rig focuses on continuing to expand our known resource areas, as well as drilling some of these new areas where our focus is, for the first pass drilling on the first 150 meters below surface.
You mentioned, you talked about the Chirano mine nearby. The Assay last month, I believe, it sort of had a feature on West Africa and described Ghana as West Africa's golden child. Tell us a little bit more about Ghana as a mining jurisdiction and a place for looking for gold.
Yeah, well, that's a good description, and I mean Ghana has a 1,000+ year history of gold mining. It's currently Africa's largest gold producer. It's the 6th largest gold producer globally. So it's very important for the economy. It's important for the tax base. It's important for jobs in country. It's got a hugely talented labor pool for us to draw upon, as well as other companies in country. It's also, interestingly, got 4 of the top 10 largest gold producers on the planet with significant operations in country. Newmont, for example, has 2 producing mines in country. They're a Ahafo mine, which sits to the north of us on the same Sefwi-Bibiani Belt. They're in the process of putting another $800 million into that mine. That will take it from about 650,000 ounces of production to about 950,000 ounces. It will take Newmont's production in Ghana from 14% to roughly 20% of their global production. So I think that really speaks to what a great jurisdiction it is. Ultimately, I would encourage anyone who's looking at Africa, looking at Ghana, to go and try to find another company or country that has that number of major companies operating there. And I think that really speaks to the political security there is in country, as well as just overall security for the operations.
And I guess as you're targeting these different regions around your project, you can look at some of the other mines in the region to sort of give you some clues as to how you might approach, expanding and exploring your resources.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we share very similar geology to a number of those different deposits and mines that I spoke about. So that is a real advantage. I mean, these greenstone hosted deposits, as I mentioned, typically as you get into the sulphides, really start to increase in grade and grow in size. The other advantage we've got is, Greg Smith, our VP Exploration, he's been working on this project for the past 10 years. He knows it incredibly well. Dan Wilson, our country manager, he's been working on our Enchi project on and off for the past 20, 25 years. Our other geologists on the ground are very familiar with the project and these types of deposits. So, all of that knowledge and all of the drilling that we've historically done is feeding our geological understanding of the project. And that ultimately de-risks the exploration for our shareholders. And one of the things that we ultimately like about the opportunity.
Well, and the shareholders are obviously reasonably happy with it at the moment because you did this raising, as you mentioned earlier. It started off looking for 10 million. You came back with a little bit more, a little over 11 million, I believe. Where did that money come from, and what's it going to be used for?
Yeah, so we're very fortunate as a junior company to have such a strong share register. We've got currently 40% institutional ownership. The bulk of that is held by dedicated precious metal and mining funds. So they see the district scale opportunity in our Enchi project. And the last fundraise that was actually led by Franklin Templeton. They've got a large precious metals fund. We had been speaking with them for quite a while. And if you look at the register today, they now own about 8% of Newcore. We also had very good follow-on support from a number of our major institutional investors who like what we've done over the last year, and ultimately, given the success of the drilling, wanted to see us expand the program, continue to get lots of drill results back and look to update the resource at some point next year. The other thing I'd just flag from an ownership perspective is management and insiders are incredibly well aligned with shareholders. We currently own 27% of the business, so we're very good stewards of capital from that perspective, and we ultimately think as shareholders first and are looking to create value from that perspective.
So for the money raised there, most of it, I assume, is going into the expanded drilling campaign, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that remains the big focus for us, is continuing to aggressively drill on our project. I highlighted how big this 90,000 meter program is in relation to all the historical work that's been done, but we will also allocate a certain amount of that money to getting an updated resource and updated PEA done at some point in 2022. Really, the motivation behind getting PEAs completed is to underpin the value of the company for our shareholders. Again, if you look at that $212 million NPV that we outlined in our June PEA, and that's at a $1,650 gold price. If you look at our stock today, it's probably trading at an EV of about $45 million US. So that creates that underpinning of value. But where we think we'll create the value going forward is by growing this to a 2, 3, 4 million ounce resource over time. And for us to achieve that, obviously, we've got to continue to aggressively drill on the project.
Absolutely. And so what can investors look for in terms of sort of catalysts and news flow as we move into 2022?
Yeah, so we committed to the market when we relaunched the company in mid 2020 that we would look to get drill results out to the market every month. And I think it's crucial that you do have lots of news flow for the market to digest and keep track of how things are progressing on the project. So if you go back, you'll see that we've delivered on that every month. We're getting drill results or met results or an economic study out. And that's the kind of pace that you can expect from us over the next 8 or 9 months as we look to get the balance of our 30,000 meters of drilling that we still haven't released or still haven't completed out to the market. So we put our last set of results out on November 26th and, October 26th. So expect, end of November that we'll have another, news release. And then, maybe there'll be something under the Christmas tree at the end of December for people as well. But that kind of pace, so lots of drill results is what you can expect from us, Leo.
Excellent. And in terms of sort of assay labs and things like that, all available in Ghana?
Yeah, so that again really reiterates what a great place Ghana is to be operating. There's a ton of mining service companies in country. Because it's such a safe country, it also acts as a hub for a lot of West Africa. So from that perspective, for example, when we went to get an additional rig on site earlier this year, we went out to 9 contractors, and we had 7 proposals come back to us to supply that rig. So rig availability has been very good for us. And on the assay side, we've got a few different labs that we can choose from in country. The one that we've been working with over the last year and a half, has been turning our assays around in kind of 4 weeks. So that's been great because it also means we can adjust our drill program as we go based on the results that we're getting back. So we're very fortunate to have very good, mining suppliers in country to help push the project forward.
Perfect. Well, as you said, lots of results coming out sort of every month. We should be looking out for those things. But thank you very much for that update, Luke. It sounds like you've got a lot of work ahead of you, but exciting times for the company. Yeah, we're extremely excited. Also, from a gold market perspective, it's been a bit lackluster this year, but it feels like we're seeing things start to pick up, and volumes have been going up, and I think that's a real good sign for the sector. And ultimately, heading into kind of January, February of 2022, those typically are good months for the overall gold sector. And I think a lot of investors are starting to position themselves that way today. So yeah, it's looking like bright times ahead. Fantastic. Well, good luck for the rest of the year, and look forward to hearing from you again maybe in 2022. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks a lot, Leo. Thanks.